Welcome to Enrichment podcast. This is Chris.
And I'm Angie.
And today we are talking about cavias, or specifically the guinea pig. It is one of the most popular small pets in the world. Last week, we went to Angie's house to look at her pet bearded dragon, Pancake. Today, we're going to go across the world to New Zealand, where you're going to get to take a special peek, probably at Thor, one of my guinea pigs, and Prince. He's a little shy, so we'll see if we can get him or not. But definitely we'll see Thor today on the podcast. But yeah, guinea pigs. It's such a beloved animal, Angie.
So fun. And the ironic part is they're not a pig and they're not from New Guinea. So we'll definitely talk a lot about that on the podcast. But yeah, just such a cool, cute creature. And I had a lot of fun learning about some of their unique physiology and some really cool behaviors that they do. I was lucky enough to work with them when I was a zookeeper at the Lincoln Park Zoo. And we had a family of guinea pigs that we used for educational programming. And they were the Addams family. So we had Gomez and Morticia and Wednesday and Grandmama. And my favorite was Cousin It, who was a long-haired guinea pig who
That's awesome.
just like
long hair
tons
too,
of hair.
yes.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the different coat patterns and length of fur and all of that. But they were so cool to work with, so personable, lots of fun. And what's really, for me, what was really impactful is it was one at the Lincoln Park Zoo was the first research project that I helped with. The researchers there in the nutrition department were doing a really cool study to figure out vitamin C, the relationship of how much vitamin C was in the diet and how much was being absorbed by guinea pigs, and playing with different captive diet items to try to help boost their vitamin C levels. And yeah, I just fell in love with like weighing particles of food and then putting it in and then weighing out what they don't eat and just helping out the researchers to learn how to better care for animals. And I thought this is a cool part of my job. And it was one of many studies that I helped on when I was at the Lincoln Park Zoo, but it was the first research one that I did, and I fell in love with it. And here I am today. So yeah, I have to thank the Addams family and the Lincoln Park Zoo and just nutrition and science in general. And of course, Cousin It, he was the cutest. So yeah.
We don't have the long haired one, but you'll see Thor. He's super adorable.
They're all cute, honestly.
Yes,
yeah. Any color, yeah.
They're really great pets, and we'll talk a little bit about the care that goes into them. But the guinea pigs descended from the wild counterparts, the cavia, and wherever you look, 6 to 9, maybe 13 species. There isn't a lot done in research in distinguishing all the cavia quite yet, but there is wild populations of the guinea pig's cousins that we'll touch upon today in South America, and just a fascinating story. There's domestication and how and then how they became such a beloved pet around the world. Here in New Zealand, they're very popular. Yeah, definitely in the U.S. So describing them, if guinea pigs, people probably, I would think, because I used to get them confused with hamsters, completely different species. Hamsters are smaller and different rodents than a guinea pig. So describing them, Angie, they're just
darling.
Like, little capybaras? Little tiny capybaras, maybe?
They're just darling. I mean, basically, they come in all different colors and patterns, and their fur, it can be long, it can be short. There's even like a hairless phenotype. But their body shape is small and compact, and they definitely have a very cylindrical body shape, if you will. And once again, they're not pigs. They're actually tailless rodents, so that's an important fact to know. Guinea pigs do not have a tail. They have 4 toes on each front foot and 3 on the back foot. And I think one of my favorite features of the guinea pig, besides just their fur and the colors and the length of it, is their ears. They have these small petal-shaped ears that are laterally positioned at the very top of their head. and they're just darling. And their eyes are positioned midway down their snout, of course, between their ears and their nose. And their eyes are pretty cool. They can basically see most of the way around their body without turning their head. So that reminds me of horses, which Chris and I study and love, as far as being able to see most of the way around their body. And when it comes to their mouth, they are a rodent, so they have 20 teeth that are continuously growing. We'll talk about that a little bit more. The teeth should be maintained by giving them stuff to grind on, and we'll touch on that as well too when we talk about caring for them. But yeah, other than that, they're just cute in the different colors and the different patterns, different personalities. They are, as Chris mentioned, definitely much, much bigger than a hamster. I did have hamsters growing up. The males are typically bigger than the females. Uh, so yeah.
Yeah, no, they are. They're just they are adorable. The different ones that we have and the ones I've seen. Sizes. So with the cavia, the domestic guinea pig falls kind of in the middle of the range, 8 to 12 inches in length. So that's upwards of 30 centimeters, weighs up to about 2.5 pounds, a little bit over a kilogram. The largest species add a couple inches, smallest species take away a couple inches. So not a huge difference in the cavias, but the domestic, yeah, they do get chunky, especially mine. I probably feed them a
They
little
do
too
get
much.
chunky. Yeah, we'll talk about
Yeah.
that. And there are some different breeds that can weigh up to 6.6 pounds or 3 kilograms. So when they're full grown, there are certain ones that are bred to be bigger.
Yeah, like I said, little capybaras. Now, your domestic guinea pigs are found all around the world. So just looking at range of the cavia, the different species, you have the Brazilian guinea pig, Cavia aparia. That has a huge range. It's actually the northern parts of South America, and then a lot of Brazil and coastal Brazil. Then the other species you have over in Peru. So the Andes Mountains, and that's where we see our domestic guinea pigs being domesticated. So pretty much all around South America, not in the deep Amazon. They typically like grasslands, the pampas grass, scrublands, savanna type areas. That's where guinea pigs like to be, not in the deep rainforest where we find like capybaras and other species inhabiting. So that's where they've carved out their niche, many millions of years ago, that you'll find out today. And they're still ranging there, and most species are least concern, which is good, except the Cavia intermedia, and that is off an island of Brazil. They are critically endangered. So one of the species we know, it's a tiny island there. There's not many of them left, and that's just human expansion, habitat degradation, and disease.
Yeah. And of course, it should be noted too that the domestic guinea pig, the ones that we love as our pets, those are no longer in the wild, correct?
Yeah, they're all domesticated, and that happened, a few thousand years ago. I'm going to tell that story here in a minute. It's like domestic dogs. Like, they came from wolves. Now they're Canis. What is domestic dogs species name? Not Canis lupus. Okay.
I think.
So domestic dogs came from wolves, Canis familiaris, right? You said that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, okay. From Canis lupus, the wolves. So yeah, the guinea pigs today are all domesticated. There's no wild guinea pigs in that species.
No feral ones like our Mustangs out west. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you a story. I was going to have Pip tell it later, but my friend had a herd of like 30 running wild here in New Zealand. They had a little barn where they'd come in at night, but they just kind of ran wild on their property every year, because we have Stoats weasels here. So some of them would get taken out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, generally he had his own little herd of guinea pigs. It was hilarious. It was so funny. You'd hear them, and in the bushes they'd be squeaking, and just so great.
Ooh, I can't wait till I get their vocalizations. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, their noises are so cute. I come outside and they just start because they know.
Well, I was sending you videos last night of them. I'm like, listen to this one. You're like, mine does that. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. It's so good. Okay, so why care? I mean, The domestic guinea pig, I think Angie can kind of expand on that as far as why care as a pet, especially for young children or children, even adults. But when we look at the cavia broadly, the wild counterparts, I mean, they have their ecological niche. They're like the rabbits in Europe or the squirrels in North America. They all have their niche in the environment, small grazing herbivores. They are prey for many species. So the wild counterparts do fill a big ecological niche in South America.
Well, and just to add a little bit more about why I care about guinea pigs, a fun fact is that they actually help scientists discover vitamin C and understand scurvy in humans, which is a vitamin C deficiency, a disease that is caused by not having enough vitamin C, because both humans and guinea pigs can't synthesize vitamin C on their own. And when you don't have vitamin C, a lot of biochemical issues happen, and humans, it results in scurvy. So we actually learned about that through guinea pigs. So I think that's really cool. And then the nutrition nerd in me has to give a big shout out to guinea pigs. We'll talk about nutrition. But they have a really cool digestive system, a really long colon, because they pretty much eat grass. And so this unique gut and its need for consistent fiber can help teach us a lot about gut microbiomes, nutrition, and GI health, not only in the guinea pig, but then how it can relate to humans and help humans. So that's pretty cool. And then I had a lot of fun learning about their social behavior, their vocalizations. And so, yeah, I think that that'll be fun when we talk about that, because they definitely look cute, but they make some super cute noises, especially if you get to take care of them. And so the other reason why I care is they are a fun pet. They're a great educational animal to help help kids learn about cool species of mammals and rodents. So yeah, they're definitely a very good spokes animal for education and zoos and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're a very good pet. Not the easiest, again, like we said, and we'll go into a little bit of that today here in a minute. But I really wanted to look at whenever I see a domestic animal, their domestication story,
Yeah.
because I find that so fascinating
So
with
cool. Yeah.
cats, dogs, horses, cows, chickens.
Like
Um,
I always wonder, like with dogs, did they domesticate themselves or did we domesticate them? I think
yeah,
with guinea pigs, we're probably probably going to learn that we chose them, right?
yes, we chose them, or the cats, like we did the
Yeah.
African cat, wild cat.
Mhm.
That was hilarious. I mean, they're not domestic. Just say, okay, I'll live with you. It's so funny.
They're basically like, I'll let you live with me.
Yes,
That's the cat.
exactly.
That is a cat. Yeah.
That's Bear's house that you're in right now.
100%. We're just living in it.
So this took place around 5 to 7,000 years ago.
Yeah, I
That's a
couldn't
long
believe
time ago.
that. That blew my mind. That fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not think they were domesticated that long ago. The Cavia tushuti, and that's the
Mhm.
one in Peru, is
Okay.
where they descended from, but they're closely related to the Cavia opria, which is the Brazilian guinea pig. So that's the origins of our guinea pigs. The reason they were domesticated was hard, but it's true, is meat. I didn't realize they're still eaten today in South America, so
It's a really big
we have to
part
respect it.
of
Yeah.
their culture,
Yes.
culturally speaking. I traveled a
Yep.
lot in Central and South America, but primarily like in Peru. It's definitely a very traditional cuisine that is not at all uncommon. And of course, for me, I didn't have much interest in trying it. I don't really eat much meat to begin with, but it's definitely very culturally important to that region.
Yes. Exactly. So you have to respect that. And then that's why
Absolutely.
they were domesticated. They bred
Mhm,
fast.
mhm.
This is the best fact about them, or one of the best facts about guinea pigs, is they're highly social and they live in herds. So herds of guinea pigs, it's just the best. And that's why if you ever do get them as pets, this is an important tip, is never have them alone. You
Fun
notice,
fact I read
yes.
about
Yeah.
is I believe in Sweden and Switzerland, it is illegal to have
Wow.
a
Okay.
singly housed guinea pig. And one of those countries have businesses that rent out guinea pigs to you if your guinea pig, if you have
Hmm.
if you have two of them and one passes away,
Yes. Yeah.
it'll rent you a guinea pig until you get another one, which
Yeah.
I was just like, I think I need to move to Sweden. That sounds so, that's like so progressive. I love it, you know. So, but it just goes to show how yes, they should not be singly housed in an ideal setting for sure.
No, no, and we have two males, so we
Mhm.
have Thor and Prince,
Yeah.
and we lost one early on, and so we had to get another one, and there was some reintroduction, so we had to introduce them carefully because they were two
Yeah.
intact males.
Males. Mhm.
Now, there are veterinarians that can desex them, so if you do have a male and female, you wanna make sure they're desexed. So 5 to 7,000 years ago, these wild cavia that they brought in, adapted to high altitude,
Oh, I'm
and
gonna talk
brought
about
in.
that. I have a fun heart
Yes.
fact.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was just it is, like Angie said, very important to their culture. It was reliable protein, and they were easy to breed. So they kept them inside their homes, and uh, that was where they got food. Now, it wasn't until the 1500s when the Spanish and Portuguese were going into South America, Central America, that guinea pigs were transported to Europe. And it was a mix of, exotic food from South America, but also pets. This is where the pet keeping started. It was just this exotic animal that royalty and others with wealth could purchase these animals, brought all the way from South America, and would be in their home. The guinea, it's the term really is, guinea was a term for exotic, so like an exotic import, and then pig was because they squeal, and they're so noisy. They are just really noisy. So that's where guinea pig came from. Now, moving forward, another interesting fact about guinea pigs is they were one of the first animals in research, as Angie was saying, with like vitamin C, but other, infectious diseases, immunology. And because they were used so widespread and because they were easy to handle, that's where the term came, you're a guinea pig, right? In a lab setting. Yeah.
Yeah,
People
I
say,
never
oh,
had it.
you're a
Yeah.
guinea pig.
It's
Yeah.
like I'm having an aha moment. Yeah, I didn't even put
Yes.
that together, but that makes total
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah,
Huh.
so in our social research I used to do back in the day, we would say doing the training, scientific method and having students go out and study exotic animals and all that. They were my guinea pigs. Even though they're humans, they were my guinea pigs
I
going
love it.
out, and I was,
Yeah.
while they were doing their research, I was doing research on them and how well they learned. So, yeah, so that's where that came from. I thought it was
Yeah.
quite interesting.
Yeah.
And then in the 20th century is really where it took hold around the world. Sweden, Finland, the UK, North America, all around the world. Guinea pigs have become beloved animals, and they're no longer livestock for meat or anything like that, but they are just our household companions. And this is where, in the last 100 years, you get the selective breeding. Like Angie said, you have hairless guinea pigs, the long-haired guinea pigs, and we get this variability in size and shape and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's about 20 different phenotypes that exist for hair color and about 13 different phenotypes that exist for coat texture and length. So, yeah, there's everything from the coat patterns of guinea pigs can be white, black, tan, brown, often a combination. And then the hair types of guinea pigs can range from smooth coated, that's an American, to rough rosettes, that's a Abyssinian, to long haired, silky, which is Peruvian. I worked with a lot of Peruvians at the zoo. So yeah, there's basically about 13 commonly recognized breeds of guinea pig, and yeah, all different. There's teddy, satin, textile, cornet, white crusted, Peruvian satin, silky, American satin, Abyssinian, if I'm saying that right, Abyssinian satin. So yeah, and they're all basically, it's based on their hair color, pattern, and length.
We have two different ones, so I will try to get Prince on. I'll see if he'll let
Okay.
me
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
touch him and stuff. He's a little bit shy, so I don't push it because I don't want to stress him out. In that domestication, yeah, this is where it came, Angie. And like you said, the floppy ears, reduced fear response, all this variation came in that we see with, we go back to the silver fox experiment in domestication where they lost the fox traits. They got the bushy tails and the floppy ears and stuff. And basically they were just selecting a fear, even though ours are shy. We probably should handle them a lot more than we do.
Did you get them when
Uh,
they were babies?
yeah, young, and we
Okay.
handled them and held them and we cuddle with them and scratch them. But they do live outside. We'll talk about that a little bit
Did you clicker train
here.
them?
And no, that's
Oh,
I need you to move to New Zealand. You're my
I
zookeeper, so you come down.
Xander is he's not using a clicker, but he is training Pancake to
Oh my
come
gosh.
to him on cue by using like mealworms. It's
I'll
it's
have
the
to do
cutest
some
thing
social
ever.
media. Do
Yeah.
some social media.
They're
You
so
gotta film
smart.
that. That's the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just some tips, and then we're gonna have a special guest come on with Prince and Thor. Again, we said don't keep just one. They do develop social groups. If you do have a male and female, make sure the females are desexed.
They are
And you can
breeders. We will talk
yes,
about that.
yes, yeah, they will.
Yes.
They breed quickly. That's why
Hmm.
they used to raise them for meat. One of the biggest welfare issues with them is keeping them in cages because people think that they could be kept like hamsters, and they can't. They need special cages and big open spaces. And I'll tell you, they are messy, and Pip will tell you that too.
So messy.
So
They're so
each
messy.
pair, they're very messy.
They're like,
Each
not
pair,
only are they like messy, but you clean the cage, and especially if you have a male, purposely just goes and like spreads
yes,
urine all over the place right after you have this clean cage because, well, it's a territorial and it's a natural behavior. So you're like, oh,
there's some great like TikToks and Instagram of people like, oh, they build this beautiful, we did it too, especially like in the colder nights, we bring them inside and this big, beautiful, clean wood shavings, hay, and then the next day it's just everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So they need about 10 and a half square feet per pair.
mm-hmm.
Larger's better, and they don't climb, so we have horizontal tunnels, places where they can hide and
They'd
feel safe,
mm-hmm.
so they're not stressed. Most important thing with guinea pigs is give them as much hay as you can. You just give them unlimited hay. They don't eat a ton. So I have a bale of hay that I've had for 2-3 months stored. It's still fresh, and we just pick off it. If the hay gets a little like not moldy, but if it just turns a little bit, I'm like, no, I'll just go get a new bale. So they don't eat, bales and bales of hay. Or you can go to shops and they sell like nice Timothy hay for hamsters and guinea pigs. Give them as much as they want because that's very important to their diet, digestive health, but also their teeth. That helps them grind down those teeth, and that's critical for them because they keep growing. Angie said vitamin C intake. You can ask Pip what she feeds them because she's always busy chopping up stuff for them. And the flooring. This is the other thing with keeping guinea pigs. You don't want wire flooring or rough plastic gates. Their feet
No,
are sensitive.
they'll get bumblefoot, it's called. They're like
Yeah.
lacerations and icky stuff on the bottom of their feet.
Yeah. No, we haven't had that problem with ours because they're mostly kept on soft grass, or we have nice soft bedding for them when they're inside.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need appropriate shavings for them. And again, when you're handling them, you'll see with Pip holding them or me holding them, it's very calm, supportive, and we're always slow in our movements. It's just sometimes trying to catch them. We just get them in their house, and then I just slowly go in their reach and grab them, but never grabbing or lunging at them because that really scares them.
We'll talk about they have fear response like scatter and huddle. They do all these things as one of their defense mechanisms. So yeah, it's really important that you don't scare them basically. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You gotta be really careful with that. And then they're temperature sensitive. You can ask Pip about this, but ask her like what we do to keep them cooler in the summer. I'm in New Zealand. It's pretty moderate.
Yeah.
The weather's been erratic, like we've been talking about. It's been crazy. This weekend, we got another 100-year storm come through, lots of landslides and flooding in New Zealand. But the temperature's been pretty stable between 18, 24 degrees Celsius 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can ask Pip how we kind of keep them cool. But again, they're not low maintenance. You need to clean out those cages. You need to constantly monitor their food. feed them daily, handle them as much as possible, and just overall
Yeah,
care, but they're worth it.
I've cared for both bearded dragons and guinea pigs. I think guinea
Yeah.
pigs are harder.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Beardies aren't
really?
easy either. They're not for the faint-hearted,
No.
and they have all the
Yeah.
lighting and all the
Yeah.
humidity and
Yeah.
heat. But I think just, yeah, as far as like the daily changing of the cage and stuff, or the enclosure, guinea pigs are way messier. Yeah.
Yeah,
But they're
and then we'll
cuter.
talk
They're
about
cute, right?
yeah, they're so adorable. And then we'll talk about their diet. You don't feed them seed mixes or anything like that. You can ask specifically what we feed them. But
Yeah.
yeah, they are wonderful pets. And if you're considering them for your children, they are. Just realize it takes a little bit of maintenance, but they are so cute and adorable.
And they do live a long time for a rodent.
Yes, we'll get to that after the break. But and they do, like here, there's guinea pig shows where people dress up their guinea pigs.
Oh, yeah, there's associations you have in New Zealand. I looked them up. Like there's
Yes.
like literally breeder associations. So so there's there's something for everybody. Yes. All right, everyone. Welcome back. I have a special guest. Pip, hello. I'm so happy to have you on the podcast. And you brought this most special guest. So I have a special guest holding an even specialer guest. Who do you got there?
Hey, Angie. Hi, everyone. This is Thor. How cute is he?
He's
like, what's going on?
He's beautiful. His coat pattern, for those of you that are listening and not watching YouTube. But yes, he's beautiful orange in color with black markings. So black on his face and mostly orange. Black, kind of looks like he has a black mane, a black spot on his butt. So multicolor, beautiful. Hi, handsome. How old is he?
So we got him 2 years ago. So yeah, he's probably just over 2. Yeah.
She's so cute. The ears, the floppy round ears.
He is so cute.
Oh, he's such a good boy.
He is. And we've had him since he was like tiny.
bitty.
He'd literally be in your hand. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now Chris was saying you feed him some special vitamin C items. So do you want to maybe share with our listeners a little bit on how you care for him and what he eats?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we give them different veggies every day. We have to be careful how much we give them. But they normally have some really cool treats like capsicum. UK people say pepper, red pepper. Spinach, coriander. They have like the odd carrots. Just broccoli stalks. They love broccoli stalks. And what was really cute the other day, their actual pen got close to the lemon tree, and Thor was up on his hind legs just picking at the lemon and the leaves. So they love the lemon leaf trees. Yeah. So cute.
Oh, what a happy boy. And I know you feed him pretty much free choice hay. Do you do any pelleted foods? I know sometimes they have like commercial feeds.
We do. Yeah, it's not a Timothy brand, it's a certain brand. I could definitely get a picture for the show notes, but it's just like a multivitamin type of kibble. But as soon as you put the kibble in the dish, they are like straight onto it. Yeah.
Well, and that's the neat part about the fortified diet is it will have the vitamins and minerals that will help supplement what's missing from the hay or what's missing from the fruit in the diet. Do you give any like citrus, orange slices? I remember giving ours at the zoo.
No, we actually don't, which I thought was probably a good idea because, Noah, my son, he will have like the actual orange. I can probably give him the peels and they can nibble around the peels.
And Chris and I were talking about, they're pretty messy, right? Like you have to clean out their enclosure each day.
Yeah. So the sawdust, and then we put the hay in, and they. What made me laugh was my friend owns rabbits, and we're having a conversation how guinea pigs will eat, poop, and sleep in the same place.
Yes.
Where rabbits will poo in a certain area and have a pile, and they don't want to poo and sleep in the same area. And I'm like, well, that's actually quite hygienic, where guineas are not hygienic. So, but Chris is going to pass me his brother, which is Prince.
Oh, Prince. Bye, Thor. We love you. Oh, she's got 2 guineas. Oh, there. Oh, yeah. Oh, Prince is a big boy.
Yeah, Prince is pretty big, and he's more of the short herd. Yeah, he's pretty cute, but he's definitely more skittish than Thor.
Oh, he's doing great right
Yeah.
now, Prince. This is his first time on
Yeah.
the podcast. I give him an A++. And
Yeah.
for those of you that are listening and aren't watching YouTube, he's a beautiful tangerine color, almost orange,
Yep.
just
Yep.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful
Mhm.
coat pattern. And he's a little chunk of monk, and I'm in love
He
already.
is a
And
chunky monk.
he's doing, I think he likes it. He likes being part of an educational animal, being on a good mission to teach people about him. And
Yeah.
I love how you're petting him. And you mentioned, and Chris and I will talk about it, but for our listeners out there, it is important that guinea pigs and rabbits actually have access to their feces. We'll talk about it when we get to nutrition because they actually consume their feces. And I know that's gross, but we'll explain it in more detail. It's very,
Yeah.
very, very important for their nutrition. And so that's another reason besides the bumblefoot that we talked about why you wouldn't want to put them on a wire cage
Yeah.
where the poop falls through. You don't do that because if they don't have access
Yeah.
to some of their feces to consume it back, they can get really, really sick and impacted. So,
Yeah.
so that's just another. So they're definitely not the cleanest. I wouldn't give them kisses on the lips.
It's quite interesting too. Noah loves being outside, and Noah comes over to the pen now, and he watches them like chase each other, and it's really sweet. Yeah.
I was gonna say, what noises do they make? We're gonna talk about their vocalizations.
Oh, you want me to make the noises for you?
Yes, please, 100% yes. This is my
I was
favorite thing in the
actually
world.
listening to them yesterday, and they make little like, and then they'll do like they literally sometimes sound like puppies. I was sat in here yesterday, and they were playing with each other, and they were playing like hide and seek, and they were chasing, and they'll literally sound like. It's just they're so sweet.
They're so sweet. Pip, you get an A+ for giving us a little sound and what they a little idea of what they might sound like. And then one of my last questions for you is I know you take wonderful care of them with their diet and their enclosure. What do you do for like enrichment? Is it more just like extra exercise, or do you get like toys for them to chew on or anything special
Yeah,
like that?
different things like that. Yeah, and then we have the little, have the twigs, and then to be honest, if you give them like pieces of wood or little pieces that they can nibble on, they just nibble around. We move their cage every day, so they've got fresh grass because they love the fresh grass. Just anything that's like fun for them to play. We'll do the hands-on, make sure they're getting lots of cuddles because because they're quite skittish. But I was just going to mention too, with it being hot here in New Zealand in the summer, they can get really hot because they're fur. So we were actually told by the woman who we bought them off, we put a bottle of water into the freezer, and then in the hot days we'll put a sock on it and we'll put it inside the hutch. And then in the winter we have this animal kind of like a little like wheat bag, but you put it in, it's like got a sock around it. So we put that in the microwave and heat it up for the winter
Yeah.
nights when it gets really cold, and they love
Yeah.
that because they'll sit their little feet on it, and it's really cute.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
No, I definitely remember say in Chicago at the zoo, we would do the frozen water bottle trick and put that in
Yeah.
there when it was really hot to help them cool down. And yeah, you definitely don't want them to overheat. That's for sure, especially with them being such small. I mean, they're rodents, but they're small mammals. And so they have
Yeah.
a pretty high metabolism and they can overheat and dehydrate really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've always got water. They've always got
Yeah.
fresh grass.
Yes,
The
they are.
hay,
Yep.
like you said, the hay is important. Yeah.
So you have a lot of pets. You're a fellow animal lover, of course, like Chris and I. So how do they rate on the care factor? Are they hard to take care of, medium, high maintenance, low maintenance? Where do they land?
I'd say mid
Okay.
maintenance, because you got to clean them out. I'd say, they get stinky, and it's when it's been raining, they're just constantly in and out. So it's just making sure you've got the fresh hay every day and keeping them clean, like you said, because they're not very hygienic. So, they're just literally sleeping in their poo and pee. Making sure that they've got the clean stuff every single day. But yeah, care factors, it's great for kids. Kids,
Yeah.
it's easy for them to just get the kibble and get some fresh veggies. And yeah, like I said, Noah loves watching them. He'll stand up on the gate and just watch them. So
Well,
yeah,
and
they're really
it-
cool.
and they're social. So when you have two of them or more than two, the way they interact with each other, and yeah, they're definitely and they're so cute, right? They're just they
Yeah,
are
cute.
they are a fun pet for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
if you could have capybaras as a pet, our eldest Rock would definitely want a capybara as a pet.
Well, you need to come visit me again in Florida. You're so wonderful to come last year so I could meet Noah. But they actually just opened up about an hour and a half northeast of where I live, Capybara Cafe.
The cafe in Florida. Okay, that's I'll let Rob know
And
that. Yeah,
I've heard fun things about. I have not been yet, but yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's
He will love it.
there's something for everybody in Florida, right? So yeah, we got to get you back here. We'd love to see you again. But I am so appreciative for you bringing out Thor and Prince to say hi. They're probably going to be the new stars of the podcast. So thank you for doing that and for sharing all of your expertise and your care. And I just always love seeing your beautiful face. So
Thanks,
thank
Angie.
you so
Likewise.
much.
Mwah. Lots of
Love
love.
you, girl. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, well, let's just get through evolution, and that way we get some other cool stuff about guinea pigs. It's 40% of all mammal species. 2,700 there. Ooh, what is that? Family is the Caviidae, 19 species. So this is where we get the cavia. Then we have the maras, and then we have the capybaras. So those are all the different 19 species in there. And then the genus is just cavia, right? Not cavia, cavia or cavia.
Yes.
And that's all the species of different guinea pigs, the wild, and then the domestic guinea pig. So we've covered that. Rodents ancient. I mean, after that last mass extinction is really where they started to radiate out about 65 million years ago. So they were some of the earliest species to emerge from the placental mammals that survived that catastrophic event. Dinosaurs go extinct. And they, because they, again, everything we talk about the guinea pig with domestication, quick to breed, easy to care for, that's rodents. I mean, that's why they've exploded around the planet. That's why they're so successful. And the cavias, same thing. Interestingly enough, rodents didn't come through land bridges or say Antarctica like the marsupials. It's those rafts, those vegetative rafts that the primates came over on about 40 million years ago from Africa. So across to South America, where the porcupines, capybaras, maras, and the cavies came from. So really quickly, this was the fun fact today about the evolution story. 40 million years ago, Africa and South America were about 1,000 miles away. So that's 1,500 kilometers roughly. And the vegetative rafts were able to sustain the rodents because it gave them food. There weren't these large marine predators present yet. So they weren't getting picked off, and they would flow. And again, the currents would flow from Africa to South America. That's where we got this flow of rodents and monkeys that we've talked about in the past. So I thought that was fun. As far as the Caviidae family emerges 20 million years ago, and then our genre of cavia emerged anywhere from 5 to 10 million years ago.
Yeah.
And so I mean, they've been around.
Yeah.
They've been around. Okay. All right, let's get into the fun facts. So, lifespan, you said, they live a long time, which is good. Like we've had Thor for 2 years. They can live, 7, 8 years is not uncommon for a domestic guinea pig. Upwards of 10 years sometimes.
World Book of Records, Guinness World Book of Records, 14 years, 10 months, and 2 weeks.
Wow. How long am I going to have this guinea pig? I'm using that about your mare. She's reaching into her 40s. Yeah, no. Love them. I love them. So glad. So again, that's another benefit of them is unlike some small pets that only last a couple years.
Yes.
These ones are long-lived, and they bring a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Wild counterparts, 1 to 2 years, maybe on average, maybe 3 years. That's it. They don't live long. It's tough out there.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it's part of the life
picked
cycle.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get picked off quickly.
But by then,
it's
we'll
really
talk
tough
about
one.
reproduction. By then, they've reproduced several times, so it's okay.
Yeah. That's why they're least concerned. The other thing I thought was funny was how fast they are. Because these suckers are quick. What Pip didn't tell you is there, when we first got our guineas, we put our cage outside and we thought, okay, perfect. And we put them in the cage, their little house, we put it all down, and then we just kind of watch. And then a little bit later, we come check on them and they're gone. And we were like, what? And they had slipped right through the cage wire because they were still little, and we were freaking out. And so trying to chase them around the yard was not easy and fun because we were worried they were going to get away. Oh, it was terrible. We were like crying. I was like, no, we just got you. The boys were excited. Yeah, 5 to 6 miles per hour. The burst speed, that's 8 to 10 kilometers per hour. So they are quick. They're not slow and lumbering. But a couple other times, Prince has gotten out, not Thor, where we didn't quite have it latched down enough. And they stay local. They graze. And then we just kind of open up his house and he just bounces right back in it. So,
Yeah.
Again, don't worry about that.
Well, and I think Pip already mentioned, or you mentioned, that they're not big climbers. They're just not that agile, and they can jump small obstacles, but they obviously don't jump very high. I found it interesting. Guinea pigs are actually good swimmers. They don't
Mm.
like it. So it's not something from a husbandry or enrichment point of view. They don't want to swim, so don't get them a pool. They don't like being wet in general, and they don't want a bath, most pet owners will say. But if push came to shove, they are good swimmers.
Yeah, when it rains here, they're in their house. Like, we just check on them, make sure they're okay, make sure they have enough hay. Like I said, with them the next day, even 2 days ago, I was out in the rain cleaning their hutch because it was just disgusting. And I was like, I'm not letting you sleep in there.
Yeah.
So put in some new shavings, and then I just got them out, and I'm like, oh, I got to clean it again. But I think it's part of being a guinea pig dad.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about their eyesight. You described that very well. It's not very sharp or cute. It's usually movement that scares them. I think their hearing's very acute, very good. Yeah, up to 50,000 hertz. So when I come outside, they're squeaking, and usually they run into their hutch, and they know I'm coming to get into my office. But yeah, in color vision, they think with greens and blues, was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But not reds. Reds are muted.
No, probably partial color dichromatic.
Yeah. I think, side note real quick, I think that's pretty common because when I was reading that again, it brought me back to Santa Fe College Teaching Zoo when I mentioned earlier my guinea pigs were studying the Galapagos tortoise there
Your
at the zoo.
students, make sure your
My
student guinea pigs.
the student guinea pigs. And
I'm sitting there picturing like Thor with a clipboard looking at the the Galapagos tortoise.
It was the most fascinating project. Their project was, would the tortoise prefer red or blueberries? And I think they figured that they preferred the red. The tortoise would come in and always go to the red first because it couldn't quite see the blue. So that would indicate some sort of possible sight and color. I mean, we didn't go much past that. It was a simple experiment, but it was so cool.
Yeah.
So have we done tons of experiments like that with guinea pigs? No, but we do know they do have some color preference or sight. So we do know that. Heart rate, ultra fast.
Very
Did you do that?
fast.
Yeah.
I did. This is my little dork out section, and for 3 reasons. It's really important for anybody who's taking care of small mammals in general. Even though a guinea pig is a medium to large size rodent, they still are a small mammal, and small mammals tend to have a lot faster resting heart rates than us humans or larger animals. In fact, the resting heart rate of a guinea pig can be around 240 and 250 beats per minute, which is crazy fast.
Yes.
And the respiratory rate can be about 40 breaths per minute. So they have a pretty fast metabolism for the small herbivore, which means that they can overheat quickly, which Pip was talking about some of your guys' awesome strategies to keep them cool in the summertime. And they can also dehydrate fast. So whenever we were using our guinea pigs as educational animals, we always made sure that the temperature was not too hot, or they had their like frozen water bottle with them, and then they would also have we'd also make sure and give them access to water throughout the day, if not constantly, because they can't go a long time without water. So just something to remember. And then the other really interesting nerdy heart fact that I found out when I was reading about guinea pigs is, compared to other rodents like rats and mice, guinea pigs have a very well developed coronary collateral circulation. I'll explain that. So I teach anatomy and physiology about horses and other animals, and I always fixate on how blood moves through the heart. And with that being said, I tend to focus on the aorta, the vena cava, the pulmonary vein, the pulmonary artery, how the heart acts like a pump to get the blood oxygenated and moving through the body. But the other really important thing to consider is the heart is obviously, especially if it's beating 240 times in a minute, the heart muscle itself needs blood, right? Like, it is tissue. It needs oxygen and glucose to sustain itself. And so to sustain the tissue so it can work properly. In human medicine, it's my understanding that heart attacks and things like that are actually blockage, not of these major like moving blood through like the aorta and stuff like that. It's actually blockages in the heart or the coronary arteries. And researchers, of course, that were studying guinea pigs actually cannot induce a heart attack in them, which sounds horrible. So we're not going to get into like lab animal stuff. But the guinea pig hearts are super, super well protected against heart attacks because of how this heart or coronary circulation that makes their heart get oxygen and glucose and all that, the way that it's built, and it basically will not respond, even if when they try to like, block some of it to like mimic a heart attack, they can't, like, the blood just goes somewhere else because they have this super well established coronary circulation, like vessel system, and inside and on top of their heart. And so probably inside their heart. But anyways, I'm definitely not a heart doctor, but I thought that was super fascinating. And so of course, me being the nerd I am, I'm like, well, why is that? Why is that? And researchers believe that this robust coronary collateral circulation is due to living and involving in really high elevations like the Andes Mountains.
Yeah. No, it makes
Because
sense.
there's like less oxygen there, so it's the air that the guinea pigs evolved breathing is hypooxygenated, so less oxygen in it, and so they just have to have more circulation to try to get as much oxygen as possible to their body, also to their heart. So fun fact, yeah, guinea pigs don't have heart attacks. So there's a lot we can. So from a
Yeah.
biomedical
Yeah.
point of view, because that's like one of the number one killers in humans, I believe,
It is.
is heart health in general. So yeah, very fascinating fact, and their heart's pretty well protected. But as a caretaker or a pet owner, you really do need to take care of the fact that we don't want them to get overheated or dehydrated, because
Yeah.
that will kill them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's why just very careful. You got to watch one of those hot days,
Yeah.
wherever you live in the world. And those cold nights, they need to be warm too. A lot of what I looked at too was their digestive system. I guess I was interested because of all the specialty diet, the
So
things that we
fun,
can give them.
Chris.
Yeah.
Get ready
So
for
when
my
they
16 slides. Just kidding. It's not
All
that
right,
many.
all right, I'll kick you off. But the one thing I found, we talked about their teeth constantly growing, needs to be gnawed down. They can't vomit, and then when they do chew, they chew like cows and horses, rabbits, this side to side. So it's so adorable when you see them chewing
It is
in
really
long
cute,
stems of
like
grass.
slow
Yeah,
motion. Yeah.
yeah. So they're adorable. But yeah, what else? What else? I mean, there's so many cool things about their digestion, physiology, digestive physiology.
Well, and especially cool to me and you being like herbivore horse nerds, right? Like, so a guinea pig, their natural diet in the wild when they were evolving is grass. And so they graze on grass, and most mammals that graze on grass tend to have really large and long digestive tracts. And when you compare it to like a normal, I shouldn't say normal, but like a rodent, like a rat or a mouse, guinea pigs have much longer colons. And they also have really large cecums, which as do horses. So I thought that was fun, a fun little comparative anatomy fact. And a guinea pig cecum, that's going to be, so we go, it goes stomach, small intestines, starting the large intestine, for lack of better terms, will be like cecum, large colon, small colon. And the cecum is kind of, I always teach my students, it's like a beer vat. That's where all the microbes are. And that's where they're really, the microbes or the bugs are eating the fiber, like breaking down the fiber. And the guinea pig, their cecum holds up to 65% of their GI tract. So they're a true hindgut fermenter, which is like a horse. And they rely heavily on this microbial fiber digestion like a horse. Whereas when we think of another large herbivore like a cow, those are foregut fermenters, and all of their microbial stuff is happening, and a lot of it, a large portion of it's happening in their rumen, in their four-chamber stomach, which is their foregut. So if you would have quizzed me a couple weeks ago, I probably would not have known that a guinea pig is a hindgut fermenter like a horse. So it made me very, very happy to read about that
Yep,
this
yep.
week. And also too, from a interest in learning more about the gut microbiome and how these bugs ferment fiber, and like which ones are good at it, like what are good bacteria, what gut bacteria, what are bad ones. In human nutrition, there's a lot of interest in trying to understand some of the guinea pigs' hindgut microbes to maybe help human nutrition and understand a little bit more about that. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
super
yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, then I mean, when you look at the diets in the wild, very similar: grasses, leaves, stems, sometimes seasonal fruit. Again, they need that vitamin C, but they don't eat seeds. They don't eat insects. They're true herbivores, little grazers that go around. On the domestic side, we talked about the hay. Pippa did mention some of the things we give them. We do give them cilantro. That's one that we do give them. We sprinkle that in. She talked about the kale, dandelion greens, things that are high in vitamin C. Then the pellets, you guys spoke about that. That does fortify their diet. And occasionally we'll give them fruit like strawberries, a little bit of apple, blueberries, things like that. But when in doubt, you can always just do a search, and there's plenty of guinea pig trusted websites that say things that you do and don't give them. With that, then with all of that digestion, comes out the hind end, and there's quite a bit of it. It's quite a bit of it.
That's the whole messy portion. Yeah, that's why they're not super easy to take care of. They definitely, as an herbivore, they definitely poop a lot, as we know. But what's super fascinating, Pip and I were already talking about it, is the fact that they do a behavioral. Pip and I were already talking about is the behavior called cecotrophy, where they re-ingest cecotropes, which is a fancy name for poop. So what ends up happening is the easy digestible food is processed as normal in the GI or gastrointestinal tract, and it's expelled as regular feces. But to get the nutrients which they need out of hard to digest fibers, some of the stuff that's in the hay and whatnot, the guinea pigs will ferment this fiber in their extra large cecum. Remember, 65% of their digestive tract in the hindgut. And then they basically expel whatever is left. And that is called a cecotrope. So it's slightly different than your normal fecal pellet. And then those cecotropes are re-ingested, eaten, and the behavior is called cecotrophy. And this poop that they eat, cecotropes act like food. They're basically absorbed in the small intestines to utilize nutrients. So the cecotropes are often eaten directly from the anus as like a fresh little pellet of deliciousness, unless the guinea pig is pregnant or obese. So that's where obesity can also be not a great thing to have if you're a guinea pig, because you can't actually consume this fecal pellet that is going to help your overall health. So This behavior is shared, I think we've talked about it on the podcast before, with lagomorphs, so our rabbits, our hare, and our pikas, and some other animals as well. But it's essential that they have access to the special cecotrope because of the nutrients that it provides them that the regular diet doesn't. And so that's why also if they're on a wired mesh cage or something, or they don't have access to their feces, then they'll be less healthy. And I know with certain rabbits and stuff, it'll actually make them really, really sick. And so I think it's the
Yeah.
same with guinea pigs. So that's why you want to, make sure that they have access to their own feces. Fun fact.
Yeah, it's
I love it.
I know, I know. I've been listening to a lot
It's
of gut health
just chewed
stuff.
up grass. It's not even
Yeah, I
really
know. Well, it's actually 60% microbes is what
right.
makes up even ours is
Mhm.
mostly microbes from our gut, and a lot of B vitamins in there too for them because that's where they're made. These microbes make the B vitamins. So it's a great point on that. Okay, other than that, what other some fun behaviors?
So
Because that's
fun. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. You'll have to make some videos for Instagram. But in general, guinea pigs are active during dusk and dawn. And when they're not sleeping, they spend a lot of their time grooming, eating their own feces, feeding, of course, as a grazer. They need to spend a lot of time throughout the day just having free range hay and grazing on grass, that type of thing. And they are curious, like they like to investigate their environment. That's why enrichment's always nice for them, or like how Chris says, he'll kind of move their habitat to different areas or let them free range for a while. Now with the guinea pig being a prey animal, evolving from a prey animal and in the wild, they basically have two defense mechanisms. So the first one is the immobility response, where they just freeze. And the second one will be the scatter response. And so when guinea pigs basically encounter a threat or a perceived threat, sound, movement, new human, that type of thing, a lot of times they'll stay motionless until the threat's gone. Or the opposite, especially if they're in a herd, they will do this scatter response where they just whoosh, go all different directions. And it's also known as a stampede behavior because the guinea pigs will just basically running fast. As Chris mentioned, they can book it when they want to. They'll run haphazardly in different directions, and that's meant to confuse the predator and hopefully save some of them. Now, the other behavior, I don't know if Thor or Prince do this, but if they do, you need to send me this video very soon. It's called the popcorn behavior. This is when guinea pigs are excited and happy. They are known to popcorn into the air, which means jumping and twisting and doing like tiny guinea pig acrobats. So, Chris,
Hmm.
do Prince and Thor
I,
popcorn at all, or
when they run, I mean, sometimes they like it's not like kicking out, but it's just
yeah?
they do. It's just not like a straight dive, like when they're playing and stuff. You do see kind of. I haven't seen them fully do some acrobatics, but I haven't really paid attention. I'm really gonna watch them. I'll just
Yeah, maybe give them like a
yeah,
new toy or enrichment or
yeah,
something, or I
yeah.
don't know if they have like a favorite food. I'm not sure, but I'm sure Instagram's full of popcorning behavior, and we all need more of that in our life
Yes,
right
yes,
now. And I'll get
yeah.
to their vocalizations here shortly, so stick with
Mhm.
me. But otherwise, when we look at our wild cavies, they are definitely living in small groups, right? So that's their behavioral ecology that they come from, living in herds, if you will, with several females, which are called sows, and a male, which is called a boar. That's after the pig. And their young are called pups, not piglets. So that kind of breaks away from the porcine or the pig nomenclature. But yes, they basically just are out in herds eating grass together. They don't store food in the wild. They don't burrow or build a nest, but they will seek shelter in the burrows of other animals or crevices, basically hides. And that's why under human care as pets, you want to make sure you have like we used to just like put boxes and cut holes so that they could go in and out of as they wanted to. Really easy enrichment, basically make your own hides for them to get away whenever they want, get out of the sun, hide from predators, just do their natural behavior. But guinea pigs, very social. As we mentioned, you should at least, it's kind of one of those pets where it's like, I guess I have to have two of them It's kind of like
Yes.
horses, right? Like,
Yeah.
sorry. Or I need a
Yeah.
horse and a burro, or a horse and a goat. You can't just have one, right?
Yeah.
Opposite of cats. Cats want to be by themselves. So
Yes.
they
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
want a friend. John and I made that mistake a long time ago. But in general, the guinea pigs are gregarious. They love to be with other guinea pigs. The males will establish a social hierarchy. So who's more dominant, Thor or Prince?
Prince by far. By far. That's why he's a little bit heavier. And yeah.
And so in the wild, of course, not necessarily with Chris, but they can be pretty aggressive when they're competing for territory or potential mates. Chris did mention when they reintroduced them, or they introduced them as new to each other, there was probably a little bit of dominance or fighting to establish who is going to be in charge. But the other cute social behavior the guinea pigs will often do is they'll huddle, basically to when it's cold out too, for security and warmth and stuff like that. So that's super fun. And they will social groom sometimes if they're really good friends. So that's pretty nice. It's really interesting. I learned a fun fact, and maybe you can help support this, Chris, is that with guinea pigs, there's a milky white substance that's often secreted from their eyes and then rubbed into their hair during the grooming process.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting.
Huh.
And then you have to be careful when you have boars or males together. They can sometimes chew each other's hair. So this can be a method to establish social hierarchy rather than like a nice grooming gesture. Or
It was
Oh, go ahead.
It was, yeah, no, I was going to say the introduction process, just to jump in real quick, because Thor's other partner passed away, tragic accident. And so we had to get another one. And so we got Prince. He was a little bit younger, but when we introduced them, trying to remember, we had like Thor in the hutch, and then Prince had his little hideout. And we kept him that way for, I think, a few days. We went online and did all the research on how to introduce two together, because they're two males, they're both intact, and we watched them carefully, and there was this positioning, and quickly Prince established dominance, and he's like, okay. And now they love each other. I mean, they're always together, always playing, and very, very tight bond. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And other dominance behaviors between males might be biting the ears or having the pile erection of their hair. Basically, their hair stands up by their neck. Of course, we'll talk about the noises. They can make some aggressive noises, head thrusts, and leaping attacks. Yeah, so they can definitely have a lot of social behaviors. But the fun rabbit hole that I went down I should say the guinea pig hole that I went down this week was their vocalizations.
Yes.
Guinea pigs have a very rich language or noises that they make that can include, this word was new to me, weeks, WHEEKS, weeks, purrs. I sent Chris a video of a guinea pig purring. I'm like, this is amazing. Weeks, purrs, rumbles, chirps. They're actually one of the more vocal small pets that you can get. So you have to make sure, at least they're not nocturnal. So that's good. They're not going to keep you up at nighttime.
Yes.
But the week is like a loud whistle that's used for excitement or food anticipation. It can also be known to use to call to other guinea pigs. And people will say that they even do it to their owners. So your goal in life is
all
to
the
get
time.
that.
Like,
Oh, they do?
Yeah, no, I come outside and that's what they're doing.
Oh my
So
God,
they're like,
I need
week,
videos.
week. It's like week. And then I'm coming to either food or like I work from home, so I have a little outside office cabin, and they know that Dad's coming or Pip's coming, or yeah.
Cute. Oh.
Yeah.
So, and then another one is this purr or bubble, it's called, where they'll basically have a soft vibrating sound when they're content and you're petting them, or when they're exploring or eating a really good food. And
Yes.
so, yeah, Prince looked really content. I know when Pip was like petting him. So I'd be interested if she just kept doing that, if he would make this purring sound. So that's super fun.
We scratch under their throat. They like it, and that gets them going too. Yeah, that gets them going.
Pancake, our bearded dragon, loves that. And then the pineal gland on the top of his head, he'll just kind of close his eyes. But he does not purr or weak.
He doesn't purr.
No noises.
No,
Although that's a good sign. Like, you don't want your bearded dragon to make noises, because the only main noise they make is a hiss, and that means they're not happy. So the guinea pigs will also do this vocalization. I don't know if it's true vocal fold vocalization, but they make a rumble, which is a low vibrating sound, and it can be used in
Yeah.
dominance and
Oh,
courtship.
all the
So
time. All the time.
and oh, okay.
All the time. Prince all the time. Like when Thor and him get together, sometimes in the hutch, I can hear. It's like it is a rumble. It is a
Okay.
rumble. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
so
Hear it all the
cool.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a higher pitched noise or rumble sound if they're scared or annoyed. There another new one to me is called a chut, chut, or a whine. So that will be used during short contact calls if they're trying to follow each other sometimes. Guinea pigs are known to also teeth chatter, so they rapid gnashing of their teeth, and that's a warning signal, especially if their head is raised. Like it's probably get out of here. Then of course they have their pig-like sounds, which is a squeal or a shriek, and that can be either pain, discomfort, fear, that type of thing. And the weak or the whistles used more for excitement. And then they also have a chirp. This is rare, but it sounds like a bird, and it's once again stress or discomfort or hungry. And this maybe more for like the pups when they're hungry. They'll just make this like little chirp sound. So lots and lots of vocalizations. I just would have been like, oh, they squeak. I don't remember our Adams family at the zoo being that vocal or yeah, I mean, they probably were. I just didn't have the language
Mhm.
to have, but they all had different names like the rumble and the chut and the whine, and yeah, very, very cool stuff. So
I've
lots
heard
of
many of those. I've heard many of those. Yeah.
yeah, lots of sounds. And I definitely don't think any of our ones at the zoo purred. Yeah, so I'm not sure, I might have missed
This
out
is
on that.
when you handle them and they're content, then they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I thought it was really interesting too because they are a rodent. When we look at their intelligence, guinea pigs can actually learn complex paths to food, and they can accurately remember this path that they learned for months. So the researchers discussed that they have like a very robust problem solving uh, ability for motion of how to get from point A to point B and how to remember it, which really makes sense if you think about in the wild having to move up and down in the high altitude to figure out where the grass is growing and what time of year it's growing and all of that. So it made sense to me, but I love that it was researched and they're like, yeah, they're very good problem solvers and they're smart. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, they
Yeah.
are. Yeah. Well, let's talk about how fast they reproduce. I won't find out. We're not getting a female ever. So, we'll keep the males together. But yeah, they reproduce relatively quickly. But
Yes,
what do we know?
yes.
Yeah.
So, once again, we don't really know anything about domestic guinea pigs' mating system in the wild because they're domesticated. So, what we do know is it's obviously been heavily managed by humans. And in general, guinea pigs don't exhibit seasonal mating. So, there's really no patterns in the domestic populations. Guinea pigs are reported to be both monogamous, so selectively have one partner, and polygamous, where they have multiple partners. So it just depends on how the animals are housed. So Chris is not going to do that experiment because he doesn't want to know.
No,
So,
no, 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 no. Nope. Nope.
and when it comes to courtships and guinea pigs, prior to mating, the male, of course, will smell for pheromones in the female's genital region. And the male guinea pig will also scent mark the area to help mates find him and also to tell other males, get out of here. This is my territory. So when a male does find a female who is in estrus and ready to breed, he's very protective of her, and especially if they're housed with multiple males. So this is where it can be a little bit problematic. And once again, do your research if you even think about having a male and female because they do breed pretty quickly and it can be harder to manage. It might be for the more experienced pet owner. The guinea pigs can breed 3 to 4 times a year, and the research has shown that a female guinea pig will come into estrus 3 to 4 times a year, so it's a lot, and her estrus will last for 16 days, so that's a while. So once again, unless you don't want to breed them, I would make sure to not put males and females together, or once again to have one of them spay or neutered. But male and female will breed at nighttime, and fertilization will typically occur it needs to occur within 20 hours of her ovulating, which is very important. The gestation period for a rodent is I think somewhat long. If she becomes pregnant, her gestation will last between 59 and 72 days. And I'm not sure if that's age or breed specific, why it's 59 to 72 days. The average litter size of a guinea pig is about 3 pups, but the size of litter can run anywhere from, I think, 1 to 6. So it just depends. Now, what's super fascinating and definitely different than other rodent family members is baby guinea pigs are born fully furred, their eyes open, they have teeth, and they're ready to run within hours. They're like horses. And so, the technical term for that is precocial, which means they're very well developed. Where other rodents like mice and rats are born altricial, where their eyes are shut, they don't have much fur, they're not independent at all, they're not walking around. So I thought that
Yep.
was pretty fascinating. And so the newborn cavy pups are mobile and pretty much ready to eat solid food when they come out the door. So they do suckle, of course, and they do need their mother's milk, but they're pretty solid and they're super cute when they're born. That's for sure. The interesting thing too, I found with the guinea pig mom, she actually only has 2 teats, to suckle her pups, but she might have 3, 4, 5 pups. So
Yeah.
she can still raise a litter of 2 to 4. So I thought that was pretty fascinating. And the other thing too is the lactation of a female guinea pig will peak around day 5 to day 8. So if you are breeding them, of course, the mom's nutrition is really important during this time. And weaning will occur anywhere from 14 to 21 days after birth. So
That's
it's
quick. That's
pretty
really
quick
quick. Yeah.
turnaround.
Yeah.
And then males do not really participate in the parenting at all. It's just the female guinea pigs. And Chris, the other really fascinating fact I found about guinea pig moms is if you have a couple females living together, there is alloparental care. So that means that another female may adopt the pups of another mom. So this is really important. Like if a mom passes away or something, that the pups can be cared for by another mom in the little herd group. So I thought that was really cool. We see it in other species as well. This alloparental care, it's called, or like
Mhm.
a good aunt. But yeah, this extends to guinea pigs. So I thought that was really, really cool. And then other than that, um, the interesting thing about guinea pigs is they're weaned once again around day 14 to day 21, and they'll reach sexual maturity for males, which can be at 2 to 3 months old, and females can reach sexual maturity at about 67 days. So once again, still in that 2 to 3 month window as well. And they can get pregnant within 170 days, which is 5 to
Yeah.
6 months. So
Pretty
way
quick.
under a year. So even if you got a little one, you're like, "Oh, I have time before I do something about this situation." You really don't have much time. You don't have much time. So definitely a lot different than other animals, that's for sure. So be very aware of that when you're taking care of pets, because it's one thing to take care of 2, it's another thing
Yes.
to take care of a
Like
lot
7,
more.
8.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then once
Yeah. Yeah.
again, if
Yeah.
you have lots of males, they might compete, and then you have to think about neutering more. It can get crazy pretty fast. So
Yeah. Yeah. Especially
definitely, I mean,
rodents.
all pets, Chris and I always, always, always preach, like, do your research. There's a lot of helpful places on the internet that can help you match what pet works best for you, and even what type, like maybe you don't want to get a guinea pig baby. Maybe you'd be better to adopt one that's older and has already been neutered or spayed or something like that. So there's a lot of different ways to figure out what pet will work best for you. And then also keep in mind, even with guinea pigs, similar to bearded dragons, if for some reason you get this pet and you realize I can't afford it, or it's just not working out because I move a lot, which in theory, hopefully you've done your research before you got the pet. But if you find yourself in a situation, there's usually a lot of amnesty groups or local shelters. I know our local dog shelter will take in guinea pigs when they have the space to rehome them. So there's a lot of rehoming Facebook groups, websites, things like that. And that's where we got our bearded dragon from, for somebody that loved it very, 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 very much, but was moving a lot and couldn't continue to take care of Pancake. So just know, like, don't release them into the wild. Make sure, don't give them like less food or something like that. Just reach out. There's groups that will help you. So yeah.
All solid advice. Yeah, all solid advice. After doing this podcast, I may want to get another guinea pig. I won't. Two's enough, but definitely not a female. Those two boys would be fighting
I'm
over.
going to first ask how often you clean that cage, Chris.
I got to clean it today. I just picked them out. It's not that bad, but it's getting there. So I'll go clean it out and then move so they get some fresh grass and they're happy. So when we look at all the cavia, it's least concern. Again, the Santa Catarina guinea pig, that small island off southern Brazil, is the one that's critically endangered. So, not a lot of concern with them. They do breed quickly and just wonderful pets. Angie, those are your tips for the day with caring for pets. We're not going to do a lot of domestic animals. This was just a fun one. We did the bearded dragon, and now we did the guinea pigs.
We do domestic animals. I don't know.
There's a couple. There's a couple in the future. I think we're going to do soon, but we will pivot and get back to some of these wild and other endangered species.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to show off Thor and Prince and to have Pip on. But great job today, Angie. And yeah, keep fighting the good fight.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And a big shout out to Pip and Thor and Prince, our stars of the show. Thank you, everyone, for listening, caring, and sharing. And yeah, keep your comments coming our way. Subscribe to YouTube. Give us 5 stars on iTunes and send us an email. Join our Facebook group. We love anything about all creatures all the time. All of your interactions mean a lot to us. So yeah, please keep them coming. Thank you very much.
Take care. Yeah, take care.